setting your cooking goals for the new year. Today on the Carefree Cooks Code, I'm Chef Todd Moore, and this is the Carefree Cooks Code, every Tuesday live at noon Eastern. Here's our challenge. How can home cooks cook freely with creativity, confidence, and pride while ignoring recipes and still impressing themselves and others with what they cook? Well, the answer is found in becoming empowered with how cooking works, using dependable and repeatable methods of cooking that work for any ingredient, for any diet, and any desire, just like chefs do. And we'll know we've cracked it when everyone sees cooking as an exciting and rewarding way to improve their relationships, their lifestyles, and their health through better food and cooking. This is the Carefree Cooks Code. Hey, Happy New Year, Carefree Cooks all over the world. Can you believe it's 2019? It's another year of carefree cooking today. And don't forget, we're live here every Tuesday at noon. We're breaking the Carefree Cooks Code together. And if you didn't get my reminder, make sure you go to webcookingclasses.com/live and you'll get my message reminder every week if you want. Don't forget, we're the Carefree Cooks, right? What does that even mean? Well, that means we create our own recipes, and that brings friends and family together. We don't just follow instructions, we learn every time we cook. We define our own cooking style because we practice pro cooking methods, and you know what that means? It means we wind up really loving our cooking and being really proud of it. And if you've missed any past episodes of the Carefree Cooks Code, formerly Tuesday Talk Live, go to Pinterest, go to Instagram, and you'll see them all there. It's so good to be together again. We took a few weeks off. I hope you had a great holiday. I hope you had a fantastic new year. The photos of food, the holiday cooking that Carefree Cooks were cranking out, it was unbelievable. And what made me so proud, what really warmed my heart, was how many times I heard someone say or typed this read, I never tried this before, and now I have the courage to. I changed Grandma's green bean casserole a little bit because I had the confidence to. I learned something earlier in the year that I applied to my cooking this year, and it was the best ever, the best ever, the best ever, the best ever. It was like an echo. The best ever is all I heard. So good. Good for you. Congratulations, because we've got so much more ahead of us. We're not going to stop here, right? Because there are about 355 breakfasts, lunches, dinners, each of them ahead of us before we can celebrate New Year's Eve again. So let me put you in a time machine for a minute. Go get into a trance and imagine, what does your cooking look like this time next year? There's 1,065 meals ahead of you until then. And I know that seems a little intimidating. We don't need to make them all today, right? You got a lot of time to work on it, but are these meals, are they going to be exactly the same? Are you going to cook the same thing you did in 2018? Or can you set yourself some cooking goals so that each of these more than 1,000 meals, it moves you forward a little bit, right? It helps you to take one step closer to breaking the Carefree Cooks Code and becoming a carefree cook. We want to do this before that ball drops again, right? All right, so let's make a promise together. I promise you to help you. You promise me to sign on and put the effort, and we'll get this done, right? So let's talk about setting some goals, some cooking goals for the new year, because you don't want to do the same thing, and you don't want to spend a lot of time searching for recipes and cookbooks and watching TV. We all know that doesn't do it. Set a goal, set your intention, and you'll achieve it. And, you know, in all my years of cooking, I found that there are 3 major reasons that people want to move their cooking forward. And see which one is you, because there are only 3 major reasons that I have found. And the first is cooking for your health. Very often we get people to join our community because they say that they've talked to a doctor. Now, this is the need to goal, okay? You need to. You've made a resolution and it's attached to your health and wellness. Either, I don't know, you need to lose weight or you need to get more energy. You know, you don't have to be ill to want to cook and eat better, or maybe you need to do what your doctor told you. That's the need to for your health. Is that you? Give me a thumbs up, like. Is this you? Is this health? Have you come to seeking out the true answers in cooking because you need to? So give me a love or a like if that's you, because the second goal that you might set would be cooking for others. Now, this is the goal of have to, right? You have to provide for your family. You feel that way. You have to make sure that you're making the right food choices for them. Otherwise, put them in the back seat of the car and just drive them through the drive-thru all the time. You don't want to do that. You're cooking for others. You have to stick to your food budget, maybe. You have to not waste money. There's a lot of have-tos when you're the provider. And is that your goal? Is your goal getting better for others, for family, for friends, for social aspects? It could be. Now, the third goal is cooking for satisfaction. That's when you love it. And this is the goal of want to. You want to understand how cooking works. It's kind of a hobbyist thing. You want to maybe recreate a forgotten family recipe. I hear this all the time. Chef Todd, how do I make grandma's broccoli cheese casserole? I don't know, okay? I didn't know your grandma. Let me taste it and I can help, but you want to. This is the satisfaction of it. And maybe you just want to really figure out how to make that best steak. Or this year is when you're going to make the best cheese sauce. Or this is when you stop making sticky rice. Or this is when the fish stops sticking to the grill. Or that there's something that's frustrating you that can move you forward. And you're going to do it for your health, for others, or for yourself. You're going to do it because you need to, you have to, or you want to. That last one is the goal of desires, right? But that's not to say that these goals are all mutually exclusive. You can have one of them. You could have two of them. Heck, you could accomplish all three of them. You could figure out that cheese sauce so that you can make it for others and make it healthier than you had before. You get it? But look, it's not easy. Breaking the Carefree Cooks Code, it's got to start right now. It's got to start in January. There's no procrastinating when you're trying to do this. If you need to, if you have to, if you want to, improve your cooking over the next 1,065 meals, right? Well, luckily there's a easier way to do it, and this is our creed. Focus on the methods. Don't chase all over recipes and cookbooks and TV shows. If you want to reach your goal, your cooking goal for the coming year, it's the focusing on the methods behind cooking, like the chefs do, like I teach in culinary school. But look, this could be a really difficult journey if you're doing it the wrong way, Like we've talked about, if you're following recipes, watching TV shows, because, and I know, I rail against this all the time, not all recipes are bad, or recipes aren't inherently bad. They're great for ideas. TV shows are very entertaining. They're wonderful, and they're great for ideas, but here's the difference between them and methods. With methods, you actually learn each time you cook. When you practice a dependable and a repeatable method of cooking, well, you take mental notes, right? You recognize what you did well, what you could do better, and then you improve the next time you do it. You don't just take out another set of instructions. You actually learn. You actually learn and grow when you cook with cooking methods. You don't build frustration. You don't build confusion. You build knowledge. You build ability. You build skills, and it becomes rote, right? It becomes repeatable. It's almost reflexive. And this is the path to becoming truly free in your cooking and reaching your 2019 goals. And this is the way we go about it. So I've told you the what, like the motivating factors. So how do you do this, right? How do you go about doing this whole thing? It seems like a really big task. Chef Todd, you're throwing 1,065 meals at me over the next 353 days. You're confusing me with all these numbers. Oh my goodness, it seems so difficult. All the lessons, all the things that I would have to earn and learn. But there's an old saying that goes, how do you eat an elephant? And I'm sure everybody knows this, one bite at a time, right? Now, it's kind of a weird cooking analogy. Cooking an elephant is not on our goals for this year. That's, I don't know, that's just strange and a little, anyway. Bit by bit, that's the answer. You're not going to do it all in one day. It's not a magic trick. You know, there are some people that write me, Chef Todd, the very first time I tried your saute method, it was unbelievable. I made the greatest, most moist chicken I have ever made. My whole family was so impressed. And there are other people that write me, I did it once and it doesn't work. You're a scam. It's a scam. I did it once. Well, that's not the idea. And that might be a recipe mentality. You reach your goals by doing it again and again. By taking a bite at a time, bit by bit, chipping away, learning something new each day, one method at a time. And with each of these methods that you adopt, I always see it like a tool belt or an old West gun holster. You know, you're walking down the OK Corral and you're thinking about mac and cheese, bechamel, boom, 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 bechamel sauce, cheddar cheese, Monterey Jack. My own sauce. All right, I got those guns in my holster. All right, I'm walking down. Oh, I got this tough cut of meat, this chewy cut of meat. I want to make it tender. Oh, it's the braising method. Boom, boom, boom. You have these tools, okay? I know it's really silly, but I'm trying to get in your head this year. And I've got some suggestions for you. And I can show you. You can think about what's right for you. You can think about whether these things fit into your goals, okay? So any of these things that I suggest that are going to move your cooking forward in the coming year, maybe start to think about how they fit into your need to, have to, or want to categories, okay? 'Cause some of them might not be for everybody. Some people don't care about hollandaise sauce, you know? But other people might want to make it, or some might feel they have to make it. So as I suggest, put these things into your mind as how they would meet any of these goals, the categories of goals that we talked about. So the very first key to breaking our Carefree Cooks code and becoming truly free in your cooking is understanding how heat affects food. Now, if you're a painter, you know how paints stick to the canvas. If you're a musician, you know how to make the notes. I make these analogies all the time. You can't be a skilled cook if you don't understand how heat works. Otherwise, you're just guessing. I mean, when you get behind the wheel of your car, you understand how fast or how slow, how safe or dangerous turning the wheel, beeping the horn, turning on the radio, you know how it all works, right? Otherwise, if you had never seen a car before, I wouldn't suggest that you get behind the wheel and start driving. So this is the most important part, how heat affects food. And in web cooking classes, we talk all the time about these 4 effects of heat on food, because when you can anticipate the effects of heat on food, then you don't need a recipe book. You don't need a clock. Right? How long to cook something? That's the worst way to cook. You can ignore what the oven temperature is telling you because you're empowered. And that's why it's the very first thing that we teach in culinary school. It's the first thing that we teach in web cooking classes. It's lesson week number 1. The next thing that you might consider is just concentrating on a basic cooking method. Just pick any method. And there's 13 of them that we talk about in web cooking classes. Anything that will give you the result that you're looking for. So if your goal is a need to goal and you're trying to be healthier, or it's a have to goal, you're feeding your family, maybe it's a time constraint that's keeping you from feeding your family. You need a quick meal. You want to make quick meals on the stovetop. You want to use only one pan so that you don't have to wash all the dishes. Well, you might consider the 9 steps in the basic saute method. It's quick. It takes any ingredients. It might fit one of those goals that you're trying to accomplish. But, you know, maybe you want an item with the charred grill marks on it, that smoky flavor. Well, you should be practicing the steps in the grilling method. There is a method to grilling. Yeah, by the way, let me clear this up going into 2019 right now. Just because you're a man doesn't mean you were born knowing how to grill. Okay, for some reason, the men think it's in their DNA. It takes practice. It takes practice like any other cooking method, but maybe you're trying to be healthier, right? Maybe there's this need to goal that you have for your health, and you've been boiling stuff in water, and you're finding that it's flavorless. You put carrots in water, You boil them, you notice the carrots taste like water, and the water is orange and tastes like carrots. Gee, I wonder how that happened. Well, there's definitely room for improvement here, because when you know the difference between boil, simmer, and poach, then you can start controlling moist heat just like you would dry heat in the oven. And I know some people are rolling their eyes. Chef Todd, boil, simmer, poach. It's true. This is what I test culinary students with. I put 3 pots of water on the stove in front of them. I say bring one to a boil, one to a simmer, and one to a poach. And if they can't keep that water at the temperature necessary, they're not controlling heat any more than you would on the stovetop, right? You don't blaze away on the stovetop. So if you're looking to like poach vegetables, or you want to adopt more of a vegetarian diet, these are the cooking methods that work really well. They're healthy cooking methods. Maybe you want to put more fish, poaching fish, poaching shrimp, poaching shellfish. All that can be in the coming year for you if you learn the moist cooking methods. And it's the same thing goes for the steaming method, right? Steaming method is going to help you make the most flavorful, the most moist and tender veggies or fishies that you want this year. Anything with an IES on the end. Anything that you want delicate and moist, steam it, poach it, or simmer it, but don't ever boil it. I was talking about grilling. Maybe your goal, again, is a time goal this year, making stews and chilies ahead of time, or cooking them over a long period of time allows you to have dinner ready when you come home. You don't have to start cooking. And you can examine the step-by-step procedure in combination methods like stewing and braising. And I mentioned before, this is where you take cheap cuts of meat and you turn them into something really delicious and tender because of the method that you use, right? You don't have to ask me what brand of meat to buy. Meat is not made in a factory. The skill is when it gets to your kitchen and how you apply it. And I mean, there's a ton of other things that might fit into this need to, want to, have to goal. Is it making the best sauces? I love making a great cheese sauce. I put them on burritos or on pasta, or I make a pink sauce. You make a really good cheese sauce, put some tomato sauce or tomato paste or tomato concasse in it, and it turns kind of pink. Maybe the coming year there's a better omelet in your future. Maybe you really want to look into eggs and stop browning your eggs. An omelet that's brown is a fail in my classroom. Eggs should be yellow. You should be able to delicately control the temperature of the egg. There's a question from Alan today about pasteurized eggs in Caesar dressings and mayonnaise and so on. And there is the ability to pasteurize an egg, but you have to keep it at above 142, 145 degrees Fahrenheit for 3 minutes, but it can't get to 165 because then you have scrambled eggs. This is a very difficult thing to do, and it's another test that we do in culinary school. Maybe that's something that you want to master this year, being able to control 150 degrees Fahrenheit of temperature within a 20-degree range. That's amazing. So maybe understanding how eggs cook is going to help you break the code this year. Do you want to make your own pasta? Forget the dried box pasta. Once people start making their own pasta, they love it. Do you want to start making fluffy rice instead of the sticky rice that you're making? Do you want to master the difference between herbs and spices? Has that been confusing you? Which ones to use? How many to use? How much to use? In what combination? When in the cooking process? Oh, it can drive you nuts, right? Well, seek out the knowledge. Make this your goal for the coming year. You want to start making advanced sauces like hollandaise and beurre blanc? It's going to take a little practice. You're not going to get it right on the first try. You might. Let's just say your goal is to make hollandaise sauce for the year and you get it right on the first try. Do you stop? No, pick another goal. And I'll bet you on the second try it doesn't work out and you kind of have to go back. Beginner's luck kind of thing. How about breads? People in our Carefree Cooks community are going nuts making their own breads and their sourdough starters. And it is a fulfilling, a satisfying, and a very impressive skill to have. Do you want to make really creamy soups this year? Do you want to start making your own bone broths and stocks? Very healthy for you. For all kinds of, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to tell you what to do with it, but I'll show you how to do it. Look, all this stuff is within your reach. when you set your intention, when you set a goal, when you focus on how you are cooking rather than what you are cooking. And then you know what happens? 1,065 meals later, you're going to be amazed at how your cooking is improved without buying a single cookbook, without having to watch some celebrity chef on TV for hours and hours and hours. And by the way, I want to mention that when you watch those celebrity chefs on TV, you also watch about, 8 minutes of commercials as well. So I'm just going to leave that there, because beside focusing on the methods of cooking, there really is a simple way to gauge whether your cooking has gotten better over a year. Take photos. Do it. Do what our Carefree Cooks do. That's what they do in our community. And I see it all the time. People that have broken the Carefree Cooks code, they can look back on a dinner photo from a month ago or a year ago or multiple years ago, and they can immediately see how they've gotten better. And I hear it from Carefree Cooks all the time. They're like, oh, look at this horrible photo. Look, I didn't know anything about plating. Look, there's no grill marks on it. My sauce is shiny and oily. And how did they even know that? They didn't know that a year ago, and now they're critiquing themselves because they categorized it. They wrote it down. They took pictures. That they followed their intention of what they want to do. And look, don't bother writing down recipes, okay? I mean, you can write down what a great idea, keep a cooking journal, but writing down recipes is a waste of time, because when you're constantly creating your own recipes, you never make any of them twice. I mean, that's what happened to me. I have 400 original recipes that I filled 2 composition books with. They sit on a shelf because I've got another 400 in my head. So look, stop the writing. All right, forget about writing, forget about note taking, but take photos. Catalog what you've been doing. You can do it. You can do it this year if you set your goal and you work toward achieving it. And in a year from now, 1,065 meals, you're going to go, wow, my sauce is better, or my fish doesn't stick, or, I'm grilling better, or any of those things, and you can thank yourself for the commitment that you made. That's what I want for you this year. All right? What was I saying? Oh, hey, it's time for the dish of the week. This is what we're going to do. Each Tuesday, I'm going to share with you a dish from our Carefree Cooks community that demonstrates mastery of one of the cooking methods that we teach in web cooking classes. So rather than a whole slideshow, a gallery that I've been doing, we're going to pick the dish of the week. And this week's dish of the week is a vegetable soup from Jerry Banish. Vegetable soup, you say? Why would I choose a simple vegetable soup as the dish of the week? Because this blew me away. Jerry uses a combination of methods in here to make it truly great. Now, see if you can keep track of all the guns he has in his holster now as a Carefree Cook, as someone who is cracking the Carefree Cooks code. So he wrote next to this photo in our Carefree Cooks community, there are several things that I learned from Chef Todd here. Notice the mason jar with clarified butter or ghee. He says, really easy to learn, really easy to use, but it improves the flavor of your cooking. That's one of the guns in his holster. He knows how to clarify butter, and he keeps it in his fridge. Center top are sliced rounds of sourdough pita. He made sourdough pita. It's not hard. Like, I'm sure there are a lot of people going, oh my God, that blows my mind. The guy makes his own pita. And maybe it blew Jerry's mind at first before he set a goal and intention to do it, and he did it. And then the marriage, can you imagine the marriage of ghee on fresh sourdough pita? Yeah, that'd be pretty good. Fresh, clarified butter. So this vegetable soup, parsnips, turnips, celery, carrot, onion, cloves of garlic. It's a winter root soup. It's perfect for the season. He also made the vegetable stock as the base of the soup with all the trimmings of these other vegetables. Another gun in his holster is the ability to make vegetable stocks. Then you've got the knife skills involved in cutting things consistently so they cook consistently. And he says the best part of all of this, when we talked about the have to goal, there's no preservatives in this. There's no fake things. There's not an abundance of salt or baking soda for color, baking powder. It is the freshest of ingredients that he could find. Did he add sugar to it? No, you don't have to add sugar. The natural sweetness comes from cooking the vegetables correctly. You don't have to sweeten it. And he said the added benefit for him is that he's eating more vegetables. Was not a big vegetable guy before because usually people boil their vegetables. And again, carrots taste like water, water tastes like carrots. So he's become more skilled in how to cook all these items. But the thing that touched me, singular best part of the meal, he says, his wife loved it, right? It was his first effort at a clear soup, and he says he hit a homer. Now, it's not because he had never cooked anything before, and he's like, tonight I'll make a soup. It's because he had put all these bullets in his gun, or whatever analogy I made, he already had them. He knew how to make a stock. He knew how to cut the vegetables. He knew a little bit about seasoning. He knew all these things, all these skills, all these methods. They all came together, and that's what I want for you. It's a root vegetable soup. And you know what? If he keeps making this 353 days from now or 5 days from now, Jerry, he's going to start thinking of new twists to put on it all the time. He's going to season it a different way. He's going to use different vegetables. This will be a jumping off point for all kinds of other things that he makes during a year. And that's why I chose this, because that's how you crack the Carefree Cooks Code. With all those methods combined, put together, you gather them, you own them for the rest of your life. Nobody can ever take them from you. And you start making stuff like that. Well done, Jerry. Dish of the week for Jerry. Hey, everybody, I'm really looking forward to a great 2019. We're going to have a great time together. We're all going to gain freedom from our cooking. We're all going to reach our goals, whether you need to, have to, or want to. We're all going to progress in our cooking this year. Let's see what our Carefree Cooks are doing. I got to push a button here to get over to the comments. How is everybody today? We have a lot of comments. We have a lot of people with us today. Yeah. Kind of like Beetlejuice. When you say knife, Don Traub has a tendency to pop out. Does ghee need to be refrigerated? Yes, I would suggest that you do. Fats I forgot the word. All right, I'll remember it in a minute. I need to see more of these comments. Where are the comments? There they are. Good too. Welcome, Pat. Hi, everybody. Susie's here from Elmo, Washington. That's really good. I need to put that light down. Okay. I'm just going to look through the comments, see if there are any questions here, because I love talking to you. Oh, they go too fast, though. Oh, God. Charles loves making bread. I'm not going to have a debate with you about browning omelets. Who said that? Deb says that learning knife skills has been really important. It's something that so many people overlook. It's really something. But, if you put a really big thing and a really small thing and cook them together, they're going to cook differently. It seems obvious to me. Guy got a new kitchen for the holidays. Congratulations. Hey, Carol. Carol from the UK is with us again. Good to see your name, Carol. You're welcome, Jerry. You deserved the dish of the week. That was amazing. All those skills put together at once. All the web cooking classes lessons. John Corbellini is with us. Looking forward to next Tuesday. No, oh my goodness. No, it's not a competition. All right. I will just pick. We all love each other. We all support each other. It's done totally at random. I want to use these photos as a teaching example. If you want to think it's a competition in your head, then fine. But I guarantee you it's not a competition. Please don't start that. I don't. Fats are rancid. Thank you, Gladys. I could not find the word. Everybody loves using ghee. Barbara learns something new every time she watches. That's great because that fulfills my life's mission. Jerk seasoning. That's a good question, Lem. Jerk seasoning is a seasoning, just like curry is, just like ras el hanout in France, just like chili seasonings are. It's a combination of herbs and spices that are endemic to a certain family or region. And jerking is the cooking process of using that jerk seasoning. But now I have seen jerk chicken cooked in like an emu under the ground with tea leaves. I've seen them roasted. I've seen them packed in coals. So it is as much the cooking method as it is the group of seasonings. When a piece of chicken, as I understand it, is jerked chicken, it's because jerk seasoning has been applied to it. That's from what I understand. Good question, Lem. Thank you. And I don't see any other questions. So, hey, thank you everyone for being with us again. If you got something out of this video today, please like it. Please share it with someone you know that needs to set a cooking goal for the year. And if you haven't started your journey yet, you have the ability to start your own journey toward carefree cooking. Get my free guide and go to 5forksguide.com and get my 5 forks to carefree cooking. There's a decision that you're going to have to make at each of these forks, and I'll help you with the right decision to make. So 5forksguide.com. We'll see you next Tuesday as we continue to try and break the Carefree Cooks Code. This is Chef Todd Moore reminding you that there's a method to your cooking success. Bye-bye.